Good afternoon, friends. I finally took some time to come out and enjoy this beautiful weather today. It's blue skies and very warm, so it's great to be able to be out here. And I hope you're doing well and staying healthy, staying distant from other people and from public spaces, and keeping up with all the changes. First, I guess I will ask you or just commiserate with you. How is this telecommuting going? How is the new way of doing business presenting? Okay, take a breath before you answer. I have heard from some of you who are very grateful they don't have to be going out and being in the proximity of other people, and yet I have also heard from some of you of how frustrating it is to just try to get everything done working from your home, and how difficult it is, the challenge to get that work done, especially when you have not only your familiar surroundings and office supports around you, but you also have to deal many times with children that are around, and you're trying to manage your children and your family. So very difficult indeed, and even pets get in the way of video conferencing sometimes. Not to mention barking in many conference calls and whatnot. Many of the calls that I've participated statewide have included, kids, noises and crying and speaking in the background, and pets, doing their thing. So, who would have thought that we would miss the office environment so much? But indeed, we do. This is difficult for sure, but this is the time to remember that we must remain steadfast in committing to social distancing. This is literally a matter of life and or death. So we gotta remain steadfast. And remember, it's not gonna be forever. So I want to encourage you to continue to do your, self-care. Get up, walk around, keep to a schedule. Write down some notes, even if they are the frustrating thoughts that you're having, because this will help you process some of the um, frustrating moments that you're having, and if nothing else, it'll give you something to reflect on once we get past this and you go back to it. So these measures again save lives. I've repeatedly, I asked the supervisors today to please encourage each of you to do everything that you can to obtain all the tools that you need remotely and not come to the office. Don't be outside traveling and going into public spaces. We must absolutely try to do our very best to do it remotely. So I know some of you have expressed frustration in many fronts. So I ask you to hang on, and let's all work on this and stay together in unison in the purpose of what we're trying to achieve. So updates in public assistance. We had the explosion in new requests for assistance. I have been watching and waiting, and certainly this past week broke all records. We had 813 requests, which is almost triple what we would get in a normal week, which usually hovers around 300. So places like Kent County, Grand Rapids area, their net registrations went from 3,000 to 7,000 just from one week to the next. For many of these folks, we are the lifeline, and we have to help them. Many of them have been frustrated trying to get unemployment benefits, and haven't even gotten through because of the bottleneck there. So we're going to be able to provide them with some temporary relief, hopefully. And I appreciate all the hard work that you're doing to make that happen. Um, the technology front, Maria sent a really helpful desk aid today. I hope you take that seriously and learn these new techniques if you don't already have them. You know how to convert ECF items to a PDF document, and how to utilize a PDF document as the base where you can introduce your signature and dates, and then save that and mail it for printing, attach it to a text, attach it to an email, or upload it in to the system, Bridges or Sackless. So all these things can be achieved through technology. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you're struggling with any of this. It's for some of us it's a new technological challenge, and you can contact Mark. He'll do his best to walk you through it. Your manager may be of help as well. So please utilize this before you think about coming to the office to pick up any paperwork. Children's Services received some new guidance over the weekend. Actually, this came out more specific to the COVID-19 positive events that we anticipate will be happening with some of our children, some of our families, and the protocols around that, whether that happens in a foster home or in a biological home or in a residential facility. There is protocols there to follow, so please review those. We're going to have a virtual town hall meeting for all Children's Services staff this Friday. Make the time to join. You always learn something through these. And we should be wrapping up the foster home capacity survey this week. So we'll have a sense of who can take what placement, hopefully. Also, another shout out to the field worker staff who have been doing a tremendous job going out there and seeing the high intensive cases and doing the field work on new investigations. And so we've been able to secure more protective equipment for them. We now have face shields and had a new shipment of gloves that arrived today. So we want everybody to remain as safe as possible and continue to do the good work that we expect them to do. So I just want to tell you that this is a time to remain steadfast. These are definitely challenging times, and I want to share just a little bit of a reflection of what the challenge may mean and how perhaps we can gain some perspective and meet this very, very difficult demand that we're facing. As we face this new reality, I'm sure you know and you've seen there are so many who are making huge sacrifices. You have doctors and nurses and medical personnel, EMS, police officers. Just in our county, we learned earlier this week through the emergency operations phone call that some EMS staff had responded to people who were asymptomatic and treated them only to learn 3-4 days later that they were positive for COVID-19. So imagine the sacrifice and the risk and the turmoil that these folks go through every time they have to suit up and walk into an ER or into an exam room or into a residence to give people the help that they need. Tremendous sacrifice. And yet, in some other areas, we have people who are grieving the loss of loved ones. We have people in our very own agency who are grappling with having learned that a loved one is positive and is receiving treatment. I learned from this week that a former co-worker of mine, recently retired, was hospitalized. Somebody who I worked with, side by side for decades. And there is so much that people are going through and suffering through this season. So I want to challenge you to honor that sacrifice that those people are going through by putting aside your own frustration, if you can, and making an effort to hold your post. I know this is a time of normlessness for many of us, and I acknowledge it's got to be frustrating. But let us honor this sacrifice and this dedication that we see all around us, with each of us doing our part, holding our own and providing the service that we can. And even though it's going to be frustrating, we can do this. As I mentioned, so many others are enduring unimaginable pain and a great loss. And keeping our eyes on the goal, staying positive, staying engaged, and maintaining our post as we serve the public is the least that we can do to honor such great sacrifice. I am honored and fortunate to have you as part of the team that is moving our mission forward. There are so many families that are in need of hope and assurance, and just a reassuring voice on the other side of the video screen or on the other side of the phone. Albeit they may get to hear your child screaming or your pet barking, but that's only going to mean so much more to them. So keep up the good work. I'll keep the updates coming. We are meeting frequently and strategizing and trying to come up with solutions the best that we can, and we'll share on any good thoughts and ideas that come our way. Be safe, stay healthy. God bless.